Please welcome Google and Alphabet CEO, Sundar Pichai.
Wow, this is just incredible. Welcome to the Sphere. What a way to kick off Google Cloud Next. Huge thanks to Jim Dolan and the Sphere team for having us. I've never felt so large and so small simultaneously. It's like I'm in a quantum state. Thank you all for joining us for this special evening. Tonight, we are going to show a glimpse of what our teams at DeepMind, Cloud, and Sphere are working on together, bringing the Wizard of Oz to the scale of the Sphere, powered by Google AI. Google was perfectly suited to take on a challenge like this. We are a company full of engineers, problem solvers, and movie buffs. So the prospect of introducing a classic American film to an entirely new generation was an exciting one. It wasn't super clear to us how all of this was going to work. There were a lot of hard technical challenges to solve. Over the last year, we've been pushing the boundaries of our frontier models, including Gemini and our state-of-the-art video generation model, VO2. We've seen significant improvements. Super low latency, incredible video quality, multimodal outputs. So many things we couldn't have done with AI even 12 months ago. Beyond the technical capabilities, it took a whole lot of imagination, creativity, and collaboration. Our goal, giving Dorothy, Toto, and all of these iconic characters new life on a 16K screen in super resolution. This will truly make history. Of course, AI has been used in film before, and other movies have been brought to some really big screens. What makes this so spectacular is the incredible attention to detail and a deep commitment to echo the spirit of the original filmmakers from 85 years ago. Getting this right is incredibly important to us, and it's just a glimmer into the future of what's possible with AI in media and entertainment. Filmmaking has been and will always be a profoundly human endeavor, something technology can't replicate on its own. And as the world becomes increasingly AI first, people will value these human experiences even more. That means there'll be a premium for directors who can harness AI while infusing humanity in every layer. And Google wants to empower extraordinary creative people with AI. Filmmakers, musicians, YouTube creators, and developers. AI will augment human ingenuity across every creative industry, and this is just the beginning. We are excited for the future we are building together with visionary partners like Sphere Studios, Magnopus, Warner Brothers, and so many others. But first, let's pay some attention to the people behind the curtain who are working to make it all possible. Here's a look at how we are bringing the Wizard of Oz to the Sphere with Google AI. Thank you.
Upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where troubles melt like lemon drops away above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find
What we're doing with The Wizard of Oz at the Sphere is make you feel like you're there. This is beyond. This is like you dream about something like this.
The challenges that are inherent in the project, a lot of them had never been done before.
The players involved in this project are the Sphere Studios, Magnopus, Google DeepMind, Google Cloud, and Warner Brothers. We had to think about how we were going to take this 1939 movie and how you were going to be immersed in this.
Well, what would this be? You can't just play the movie on the screen. It doesn't adapt well.
What did you not think was possible?
The whole thing, like any of it, to be honest.
Okay, how do we accomplish this? The process of getting this immersive experience off the ground has 10,000 moving parts. How could we adapt that 4x3 image, and how could we spread that on the media plane and take you to another world?
So how did you get there?
Ooh. It might actually make sense for me to start at the beginning of how this came to be.
When the Sphere opened, it was a hit. Everybody was like, oh shit, look at that. That's pretty cool.
With that, Jim Dolan.
Jim Dolan and Jane Rosenthal asked the question, if we could adapt something, but bring it to the audience in a new way, what is it?
But are you a clever enough wizard to manage it?
Child, you cut me to the quick. Sphere is an experiential medium. It's not just a building. You go in and you're inside the content. We looked for properties that would accentuate all of the different capabilities inside of the venue. Jane Rosenthal, who really is our curator of content, she's a good witch.
The original movie is in a rectangle. Inside the Sphere, it would be in a rectangle that's bigger than any other rectangle in the world, but it would still just be in a rectangle.
We had to figure out super resolution, outpainting, and performance. We talked about doing it in different ways, and we realized that we really needed to do it with AI. And then it was finding the right partner for us.
Google was the only company that was actually capable of doing this.
Ben and I met with Demis, who's co-founder of DeepMind. Demis offered us some of his engineers to work with.
We actually had to add in and restore more detail than existed in the original film. The second problem is we needed to complete the characters that were cut off outside the field of view of the original cinema production. The third problem is, with a much wider field of view, we could see characters that should be there but were never captured on camera. And so we needed to generate those performances completely. We needed to use AI to train on all of the material in the original movie to effectively reconstruct a memory. Then we could transport the audience back into that memory of the original movie and reproduce that experience in the Sphere.
The key for us in all that we're doing with AI is to maintain the integrity of the original filmmaker's intent. It's part of our cultural history. You can't just take it and do anything with it.
That challenge led us to a series of guiding principles that became one of the most complex productions I think I've ever seen or heard of.
And think to yourself, there's no place like home. There's no place like home. There's no place like home.
Wow.
We broke down every single shot in the movie, focusing first on the foundation of everything, which is super resolution.
It's more than just like, okay, we're taking a small video and we're making it a big video with more pixels. It's like making sure that the nuance and the detail is there.
The super resolution team found that AI models actually improved substantially if we fine-tuned those models on the actual material and references from the original film.
It's helpful to have as much information about how the movie was made, so it's a little bit of an archaeological dig.
You have the Academy archives Warner Brothers also has terrific archives. But Ben and his team, Craig Barron, seem to go deeper and deeper.
We were able to find a Technicolor workbook from a Technicolor cameraman named Clarence Slifer, who didn't work on Wizard of Oz, but he worked on Gone with the Wind, which had the same camera package. And so once we had this little notebook, we could figure out what lens that they shot the scene with and then add additional elements to it.
We knew we were going to run into some pretty significant challenges on this project, and the only way to be able to push through them is with a computing architecture that you just can't get at a local computer store.
Okay, so let's look at close-up. You need facial features, right? So the eyebrows, eyelashes, the freckles, so all of that needs to be enhanced. So I know which shot I need to upscale. So I come to this program that I've written, right? So this program launches a pipeline on Google Cloud infrastructure. And what it does is it takes low resolution input and produces high resolution output. Now I've run this exact shot through our SR model, and this is what we get. So to get to this stage, we had to push the boundaries of the technology that was available at that time.
At Google, we've invested in different types of models for video generation. VO is one of our well-defined video models.
VO is one of the biggest super resolution breakthroughs. Yeah, how does VO work? Okay, say you zoom in on a video and you take a patch of it and you train a model that learns, here's that image in like high resolution, and then it learns how to like take a small, low quality, low res version of that and give you a beautiful high res video. That was important for Dorothy, right? When she looks big on screen, those close-up shots, you really want to feel the close-up nature of it. And you lose that detail in the original film because just the way it was filmed. So the technology definitely is wildly innovative. We find something we can't do, it's impossible. And then a month later, we're like, actually, maybe we can do that.
When you have innovation like this, you don't always know where it's going to go. You have to be able to take a leap of faith. What you're seeing in The Wizard of Oz is clearly a leap of faith.
You are now a member of the Legion of Courage.
We got that working, we got this working, what's our next problem? Sometimes while you're looking at a close-up of a character, the bottom half of their body is missing, their arm is missing. How do we actually complete these characters so that we can experience them as though they're standing in front of us?
What? There goes some of me again.
And so that was a specialized area of research that we called outpainting.
So what we are looking at right now is an outpainting task. The first one is the video that we want to work on, and this is what we want to extend. So this is an input to the model. We are asking the model to outpaint something, but the model has to know what to output. So in this example, right, what you are seeing out here is this section. This is where the model is learning from the training from the Wizard of Oz data.
So for example, I really want to see Dorothy with her shoes on at this frame, but I don't. If I've ever seen Dorothy's shoes on one frame, using these generative AI techniques, I can now show the shoes in a future one that we could not see her feet. The AI knows about Dorothy's shoes because we fine-tuned it on the Wizard of Oz movie.
We've achieved outpainting results that are just magic. The details of their costumes and their hair.
We've been surprised ourselves along the way for what our models have been able to achieve. And this was one of those moments we're like, wow, that's possible too.
This is really pushing the envelope on what the tech can do.
He got away! He got away!
Oh, which is more than you will. Rat you and your dog. You've been more trouble to me than you're worth, one way and another. And it'll soon be over now. You see that? That's how much longer you've got to be alive. And it isn't long, my pretty. It isn't long. I can't wait forever to get those shoes.
The third problem that we identified was the environments and the characters that weren't in the frame, but we knew were there.
A good example is when Dorothy is talking to Aunt Em and Miss Gulch, Uncle Henry is off screen. So performance generation is like, what is he doing right off screen? Can we generate the rest of what he was doing? When I said this project was impossible, performance was a big part of that.
It was the highest and most difficult bar for us to hit because everyone knows who Dorothy Gale is. And the Scarecrow and the Tin Man and the Cowardly Lion, they have these unique performance characteristics that make them different than everybody else in the world. And the minute that you just try to apply a generic human performance to somebody who looks like Dorothy Gale, you know it's not her.
Uncle Henry, in the original movie, the camera moves away, so we don't see any of this performance. For this to be part of a movie, it needs control, right? It's like director telling, no, take 3 steps. To tell a model to do that is really, 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 really hard. To tell the model to do the way Uncle Henry would do it, and do it in sepia black and white, is even harder.
Anytime you're doing something that hasn't been done before, you're gonna run into problems you don't think you can solve. And so for every 5 problems we solve, we'll hit 10 new walls.
Steven, I know crowds has been an issue for us, right? This is still like a long shot.
Moving cameras, moving characters is obviously one that I worry about.
I would say the one thing is the faces. The slightly bigger it is on the screen, the better.
Large faces we know look good.
They're kind of running towards camera and off the screen, right? So it is going to be a tricky one because we haven't really tried doing something like this before.
I don't want to be in a situation where we're like, oh, Steven's going to have a miracle. So let's assume that's not going to happen.
I think at this point in the schedule, we were kind of ramping up on deliveries.
We have a release date. We're working with new technology. We're working in a new venue with its own set of new issues.
We have to freeze where we are, not keep constantly doing new experiments. At some point, we have to call saying this is what we have, right, for this timeline.
It's unclear. It's a big research. It's an R&D problem. We have like 18,000 different things we're trying, but also like movie timelines are their own thing, but like it's a lot,
The reality of it is we're going to need a little bit of wiggle room with that. It's difficult to say, I can definitely hit delivery.
You could have all the time in the world, you know what, you still might have the same film at the end of the day. And there's something about a deadline and a release date, you're just gonna do it, It's like the show must go on.
It is extremely uncomfortable. You need to develop really advanced technologies, get really smart people moving, and start operating on instinct rather than rationalization. It's not possible, and we have to get comfortable with that because it's going to become possible.